Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. Had some time away. Got to see some family or friends, or caught up on your Netflix binge or whatever. I don't know. We watched a few different shows over the break. Actually, my wife and I watched a lot of TV over the break because we didn't spend a whole lot of time with family and friends. We were planning on it. We did Friday. Friday, all of our kids came over with their spouses, and our cousins came over, and we had a big 24-pound turkey on Friday, and played games and just enjoyed ourselves. Saturday, my daughter and her husband and my grandson came over and watched a lot of football. But the first part of our Thanksgiving break was pretty lonely, actually. My wife, her science department before the break had a big potluck like lunch just to celebrate Thanksgiving, and 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 she caught COVID. She Cause the next day she's like, I'm feeling a little sick, and then by Saturday she was laid out in bed all day on Saturday of Thanksgiving break. By Sunday I was laid out in bed all day. Went to the doctor. Yeah, you got COVID. So basically, from after we got to school on Friday until the next Friday, it was just my wife and I. We were just watching a lot of TV, laying in bed feeling sick, and basically had a miserable 5 or 6 days there. Got to feeling pretty good by Thanksgiving Day, but nobody wanted to be around us because they thought we might still be contagious. But Friday everyone came over. So Friday and Saturday and Sunday we got to hang around family and enjoy that. But yeah, for pretty much the whole first week, we had COVID and didn't even want to get out of bed. Didn't eat for a day or two. Didn't want to get out of bed. It was miserable. Felt like a really bad flu. Everything hurt. Ugh. So hopefully your Thanksgiving break went better than that. Hope you weren't laid up sick for a week. Yeah, COVID's just no fun. I had it 3 years ago, and I had it for like 3 months, and ended up in the hospital for a week because it was killing me. I couldn't beat it. I had a fever for over a month back then. So, oh, and now you're making me jealous, Reagan. Having some scrambled eggs. But yeah, the COVID was nasty. I mean, it's not as bad as it was 3 years ago. It's getting weaker strains of it, but still, it was no fun. Planned on going to a lot of movies last week. We did. We went to a movie on Friday when my wife was just feeling a little sick, and I wasn't sick yet. But so we did go. We did go then. Man, that's so long ago. I don't remember what we saw, but a lot of movies out right now. So the second Wicked movie's out, and I don't know, all kinds of good stuff out there. Gonna have to figure it out. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look. All we have at this point, guys, is we have class this week. We have class next week, and then we have finals week. Wow. So this is a class that you can be exempt from having to take the final. Yay. So you just have to meet all those requirements that they'll talk about at advisory. You can't have more than 4 absences. Can't have more than 4 tardies. You can't have more than 4 absences in advisory, sixth period, because that makes you take every final. So if you have more than 4 in advisory, you can't exempt any class. But in this class specifically, absences and tardies, you have to have all your assignments in. You have to have at least a 75% in the class, and then no fines or fees. But we don't have any fees to pay in this class. So I know a lot of you had a great Thanksgiving break because I got a lot of programs turned in. I've got like dozens of programs waiting to be graded today. So a lot of you did great using that spare time to get caught up on things so you can coast these last few weeks. Just get these last couple assignments done and be done for the semester, be in great shape. Hopefully you'll be exempt. Hopefully a lot of you folks will be exempt, won't have to be here. The final will be live in class. So not live like in person, but like in our Google Meet right here. So we will have our final, and I'll find the, actually I should find that. Our final goes for like almost 2 hours. It'll be on Wednesday the 17th. It'll start at 7:15. Uh, I'll probably start it at 8 for this class, and I'll just make it so because I'll look at it. It shouldn't be like a 2 hour final, but we got all the way till 9:10. So if we met at 8 for an hour, that'd probably be plenty of time. I may leave it an option that if you want to come in before 8, for those of you who have to take it, because not like I say, you can exempt it. I'll probably start it at 8, just like our class starts, and we have until 9:10 to finish it. But I'll look at it ahead of time to make sure we know how many questions there are, and all that, because we'll meet on class on Monday of finals week, and then we can have any final questions on what it would be. But our given final time for this period is from 7:15 to 9:10, but that includes programming 1 and programming 2. And I can give them at the same time if we want to, if you want that whole time. But I'll look, and it's not going to be like a 2-hour final. It's not going to take you that much time. So it won't be crazy like that. But it is 7:15 to 9:10. Again, I'll look at it. You can probably come in at 8 on Wednesday the 17th. But hopefully you're exempt, right? So you still got time. I'll set a deadline for everything to be turned in if you're missing anything. Usually I let you have until Monday morning. So 2 weeks from today, that Monday morning at 7 o'clock, because usually on that Monday I come in and say, okay, here's who's exempt. And a lot of times you'll know before that if you're exempt, like Thursday or Friday. If you've got everything turned in the week before, then you'll already know, hey, I've already got everything, I'm exempt. But for those of you struggling to get their last minute stuff in, I usually give you until Monday morning when I come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I look at it. But yeah, we'll have that. We'll have that final. Get that done. But hopefully you're exempt. So anything you're missing, man, work to get it turned in now. Get your grade over 75%. If it's not there yet, you've got 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks, and this. Oh gosh, I don't know what. I hadn't even looked at the calendar. I need to figure out, is this an A day or B? I think it's an A day this week. Let me check. It's an A day. Okay, it is an A day this Friday. So we have got 2 days this week. If you need help writing programs or anything, if you're still missing some, which I know a lot of you got it turned in and doing good this week, you can come in Wednesday, you can come in Friday and get help. Because I want you to get these programs done. I want you to feel good. I want you to be exempt. I want you to get to that finals week and go, hey, I don't have to take the finals. I've got everything turned in. So that would be fabulous for you. And that's what I want for you. But let's take a look at what we have this week. Let's go to our grade screen. We are down to just 2 things left. We're looking at while loops. Now, we looked at 4 loops before the break. We did the Python graphics. You had the program where you just got to just draw something on the screen. Really simple program. A lot of you got it turned in pretty quickly that week. I have a lot of those to grade as well. And, some of those that didn't take hardly 10 lines, maybe 12 lines. And you made a loop with a little drawing. It's great. Of course, you had to import the turtle and name your turtle. So some of you had some extra lines, but it wasn't a whole lot of code. So that was a pretty quick and easy one. You guys get that turned in. I've seen a lot of really cool stuff with that. We're going to learn about while loops. This is a different kind of loop. So we have for loops and while loops. And then next week, we'll talk about creating functions other than your main function. You define main function, but we can define other functions as well. And we'll look at that next week. So 3.03 this week. Close module 2. We're done with that. While loops. Boundaries are a good thing. So when you're full, you stop eating or else you explode. When you're tired, you start sleeping, hopefully. When your phone dies, you plug it in, right? Well, at least you try to follow these boundaries. I know some of you kind of push the boundaries, but whether it's your stomach, your energy level, your battery life, each has a boundary that indicates that something needs to start or something needs to stop happening. So in programming, boundaries work the same way. So after this lesson, we're going to be able to compare for and while loops and how they're used. They have different purposes. Explain the while loops programming structure. Identify the boundary conditions needed for while loops and use a while loop to perform repetitive tasks. Let's look at page 2 here. Loop types. So when you want Python to repeat an action, you use a loop, which we learned last time with the for loops. There are 2 kinds of loops, for loops and while loops, and you're familiar with the for loop. Now we're going to learn about while loops. So the for loops, to review, this structure is commonly used to count through a range. It tells Python to repeat the action for a certain number of iterations. Use this loop when you know the exact number of times your code should run. Example, for x in range. Start counting at 0, stop counting at 1, and go by tens. Well, that's not going to really work well because, it's not going to have any loops if you count by tens. It'll do one time. While loops. Let's look at a while loop. So this is a little different. The command waits for an event to happen. It tells Python to repeat the action while a certain condition is true. So while this is true, repeat this. Use this when you don't know the exact number of times. So we can set a variable like this, x equals 0. And while x is less than 10, keep repeating this loop. And all this loop is just doing is adding 1 to x every time. So it'll come through x is 0. It'll go into the loop, add 1, x is 1. It'll go back into the loop, add 1. And it'll keep doing that until it gets to 10. When it gets 10, it won't do it anymore. Because this is while it's less than. Not less than or equal to, just less than. So for loops and while loops are similar in that they're both loops, but they differ in why and how you use them. So for loops repeat for a set of range of values for this many times. Exactly. The loop variable is given a start value. Maybe we'll start at 0. Maybe we'll start at a different number. And this is best used when you know the exact number of repetitions needed. I'm going to use a for loop because I run it to the loop 5 times. So I can set up a for loop to do that 5 times. A while loop repeats while some Boolean condition is true. While this does not equal this. While this does equal this. While this is less than this number. While this is greater, A loop variable is assigned a value before the loop, because if we want to know while x is less than 10, we have to give x a value to start with. And this is best used when you do not know the exact number of repetitions needed. I'm not sure because it might change quickly and maybe it'll need to loop 3 times. Maybe it'll need to loop 30 times. I don't know. But both repeat a block of code and they'll both stop once the condition is false. So those things in the middle of our Venn diagram will happen for both. All right, page 3. Worth your while loops. They get a little wordplay here. Imagine you and your friends are binge watching your favorite new show. There are 7 seasons, and you're going to watch until you see the series finale. It's going to be a long but epic weekend, baby. Something keeps happening. Every time an episode ends, there's a pop-up appears on the screen to ask, do you want to keep watching? You've seen this. Are you still watching? It's been 16 hours. You're covered in chips. Really, think about it. Oh, continue watching next. Basically, what you say is, can I stay awake for another one? That's what you're doing, right? This is when a while loop would be useful. You have to ask yourself, while I can stay awake, keep playing episodes. Or you could say, while there's still more episodes left, keep playing the show. But it might get to the point where it's like, well, I thought I was going to watch 10 episodes, but I got to get some sleep. I'm going to stop at 7. We use while loops to repeat actions when we cannot find the number of necessary iterations easily, or when there's no way of knowing specifically. I'm going to watch this until I'm too sleepy to watch another one. So I don't know how many loops I'm going to go through. Writing while loops. So there's some important syntax points to be aware of when you write a while loop. The statement begins with the keyword while. See, the other loop started with the word for. This will start with the word while. You put a test condition inside the parentheses. While, parentheses, x is less than 10, parentheses. And you put a colon at the end, just like several of the other statements we do. We put colons on if statements, define main statements. And the code inside the loop gets indented. That's so it knows what to repeat. We've got to indent everything that we want to repeat. So here's an example. Answer equals y. So we have this variable called answer, and we have to set it equal to y before we get into the loop, because the loop's going to check while answer equals y. Now remember, we use 2 equal signs to check to see if a value is equal to something. 1 equal sign assigns a value. So this assigns y, and this checks to see, is it still equal to y? So this draws a circle. We must have a turtle named Trixie. Trixie.circle 25, so a radius of 25. Trixie, turn left 25 degrees. Then we have an input statement. We ask the user, would you like to draw another circle? Y or N? So if they type Y, then the loop will repeat. and it will repeat and repeat and repeat until they do not hit Y. If they hit N, then the loop will skip and go to the next line of code. So this is one of those when we don't know how many times to loop. We don't want to use a for loop because we don't know if we're drawing 5 circles or 20 circles. It just depends on when the user decides to stop drawing circles. So the while loop needs to know 2 things. What to do, what am I supposed to loop, what am I supposed to run, and what are the conditions for doing this? Like in this, I'm supposed to draw circles and turn left as long as the answer is Y. Here's a few instances that work like a while loop. Like while it's raining outside, you'll use an umbrella. If it's not raining, use an umbrella. They look kind of silly. But on the condition it's raining, you'll use an umbrella. Otherwise, you'll stop using your umbrella. So people don't point and giggle, right? While there's still ripe fruit on the tree, then you'll pick it. When you run out of ripe fruit, it's not ripe anymore, then you won't. This logic works both ways. While the ride is in progress, this is an important one, you will keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside because you want to keep them. This should always be true, right? While the ride's in progress, please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the car. Remain seated at all times. While I'm following you on Instagram, I can see your photos. But if I unfollow you, not so much, right? So that show while loops work. Or that's how while loops work. Yeah. So while I'm following you, I can see what you post. Page 4, Boolean conditions. So Python uses what's known as Boolean logic. It's a condition that evaluates whether something's true or false. To determine whether the condition is true or false, the loop will repeat as long as the condition provided is true. And as soon as that condition is no longer true and it becomes false, then the loop will end and it'll go into the next code. So to make your while loop understand the conditions necessary, you'll need to use one of these 6 relational operators. Now, you should know these from algebra, but the symbols can be a little different in programming. Like in algebra, you have the less than or equal symbol. In programming, to do less than or equal is 2 different things. You just type one right after the other. Less than followed by an equal sign. That means the same thing as less than or equal. Less than is exactly the same. Equals is a little different. We got to use 2 equal signs to check to see if something's equal. 1 equal sign assigns it, 2 checks. Not equal to. We can also do not equal to in programming by putting an exclamation in front of the equal sign. Not equal. Not equal. We can see if it's not equal to something. Greater than is the same, and then there's greater than or equal. So let's look at some Python guided activities here. We have 7. The while loop. So we define our main function. We set x equal to 0. And while x is less than 5, I want to print it. Print x. And then add 1 to x. So when we run this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now x got to where it was equal to 5 when we added 1 on there. So it did not go through the loop again. It quit the loop when x got to 5. Now, if we wanted it to print the 5, we can just go put this less than or equal to. Put an equal sign. Now it prints the 5. It doesn't quit until it equals 6 if we put the equal to on there. All right. Got to remember it starts counting to 0. If you were thinking it was just going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, got to remember Python counts here. Okay. Now what's it doing? Read the code, predict the output. Looks exactly the same as it was before. 0, less than 5, print it. There you go. It says modify the range of the while loop so the count is from 1 to 10. Okay, so we want to start at 1 this time. So we can change our value of x to be 1. And as long as it is less than 11, I want you to print it. Start at 1 and keep running this loop until it gets to 11. Oh, look at there, 1 to 10. We could have also made it less than or equal to 10, and that would have the same results. There it is, 1 to 10 still. So there's 2 ways to do that. Let's look at the third example. Oh, we're going to import our turtle. And we're going to name our turtle Rosemary. Rosemary the turtle. Okay, so we've got a turtle named Rosemary. We told her to go at a speed of 10. Rosemary, pick up your purple crayon, please. Pick your pen up and move over to this position. X equals 0, Y equals 50. So it'll go to the above the origin up to 50. And now put your pen down, get ready to draw. So we have set the number of circles equal to 10. We're going to start counting at 0. And while it's less than 10, Rosemary, draw a 40 radius circle. Move left 360 divided by the loop number. Oh, no. Well, X is less. Yeah, loop num circles is 10. So divided by 10. And then add 1 to the loop counter. The loop is counted as X. So while X is less than 10, do this. So she's going to draw a circle. And then 360 divided by 10. So she's going to move left 36 degrees. And by the time she does this 10 times, she should be in a full circle. So let's see what this does. Cool. That's a nice little rose pattern, some kind of flower pattern there. By having her move left by the number of circles, if we change the number of circles, let's change it to 12. So now they'll be closer together, but still, we'll do 12 circles. It should end up in a perfect design. Because it's just dividing 360 by whatever number you want and doing that many circles. Can we do 20? Sure, let's make 20 circles here then. It'll be tighter together, but it should still end up as a nice, oh, see how close those are together? But it's going to make 20 of them in a 360 degree circle. So, yeah, you're going to have a lot of fun. So you can come copy this and play with this code. Oh, you're going to see even more. All right.
I'm just having fun watching this. This is entertaining.
It is entertaining. I like playing with the turtle graphics. So yeah, now we're making 45 circles in a 360 degree pattern. Perfect. So yeah, this is page 4 of our lesson. So you can come here and play with this. All kinds of really cool stuff. Just change the value of num circles and X. Oh, what if we change X? Let's say if we start X at 10. I wonder what that does. It's not going to finish the circle, I think, because it's going to go from 10 to 44, which means there won't be, see, it's going to leave it partially open because I cut out 10 of the circles by not starting at 0. So, all right, let's look at the next one, see what else we're doing. Define main, total equals 0. So while the total is less than 20, so we started at 0 and say, while it's less than 20, number input an integer. Please enter a number and print that number. And then we're going to add that to a total. So we're going to have you enter numbers and we're going to keep adding them up until we have total higher than 20. And we'll print it afterwards. So it's going to keep running through this loop. So since this is indented, this is all part of the loop. So we're going to keep putting numbers together. And when the total hits 20 or higher, it will stop running through the loop. So if we run that, it says, please enter a number. All right, Reagan. I'm going to enter 5. And I'll enter another 5 and a number 5 and a 4. So we should be at 19. But if I enter one more, your total is 20. And it prints out every number, 5, 5, 5, 4, and 1. And it stopped the loop because we were no longer less than 20. Try this again. Enter a number, 25. See, it only ran the loop one time because the first time through it was 0. So it went into the loop. And inside the loop, I entered the number 25. It printed that. It added it to my total. Now the total was 25, and it only ran the loop one time. It didn't go back through it again. Oh, we're done. So that's how that works. 10, 7, 6. Nope, see, it quit when I got the 6 in because that pushed my total over 20. So that's how a while loop. That's when you use a while loop, is when you don't know exactly how many times you want to run the loop. See, this loop ran once, it ran 5 times, it ran 3 times. It's different than a for loop, but it does the same thing. It repeats everything that's indented. Everything that's indented. All right, slide 5, the while loop. Define main. Let's find the total. The total starts at 0, and the answer starts as yes. So while the answer is equal to yes, we're going to run these 4 lines of code. We're going to have, please enter a number and integer input. We're going to print that number, and we're going to add it to the total and say, would you like to add another number? And if they say yes, we'll come back and we'll do this again. If they say no, it will come down here and print the total. So let's run this. Enter a number. I'm going to say 13. Now it says, would you like to add another number? I'm going to say Y or yes. Okay, it says, what would you like to add now? Okay, I'm going to do 7. Would you like to add another number? Yes. So see, this is a while loop. It'll keep going while I say yes. As long as I keep typing Y, please enter a number. 22. Would you like another number? No, that's all my numbers. So it will stop the loop and print the total. 13, 7, 22. Your total's 42. So that's nice. If you've got to add up a bunch of things, but you don't know exactly how many you got to add up, or it's going to change every time when you're adding these numbers, you can use a while loop. If I had 3 numbers to add up every time, I could just make a for loop that loops 3 times. Enter your number, enter your number, enter a number, total. But this doesn't know how many numbers we're going to add up. It asks the user every time, would you like to add another number? All right, slide 6. Import turtle. We're back with the turtle. We're going to name our turtle Trixie. Trixie the turtle. Speed of 10. Answer yes. And while the answer is yes, oh, look, we're going to do a while loop inside of a while loop. While the answer is yes, tell me the number of circles. How many circles should be drawn? And tell me the diameter. Integer input. What is the diameter for the circles? So then Trixie is going to Trixie.color input. What color is the turtle? We're going to tell the Trixie every time how many circles they want, what's the diameter of the circles, and what color. Then I'm going to set X equals to 0. So as long as I keep saying Y, this loop's going to keep running. It's going to do everything, all of this, as long as I keep saying Y. It's going to set X equal to 0 and start a second loop inside of a loop while X is less than the number of circles, which is what I answered right up here. How many circles do you want? As long as we haven't reached that number of circles yet, we're going to make a circle using the diameter that I entered. And then we're going to turn left 360 degrees divided by however many number of circles. So that way we'll make sure we make a complete circle of circles. And then add 1 to X so that it'll keep looping through here and drawing circles until it's finished. Then, if we don't have this, we're stuck in a loop. Answer equals input. Would you like to draw another? Because now it goes back up and checks while the answer is yes. So if you forget to give the user a chance to change the value of answer, you're stuck in a loop forever. It has to have a way to end. So let's see this. Let's run it. How many circles should be drawn? We're going to say 10 at a diameter of 50. Those are going to be big. Maybe 40. And these are going to be blue. Okay, oh, let's bring this down. Would you like to draw another? Yes. How many circles should we draw this time? I'm going to say 20 this time. And these are going to be 30, and these are going to be yellow. So it's drawing smaller circles on top of the blue circles. Don't yes. Let's do 30 this time, and these are going to be 20 red. So even smaller ones. I'm doing twice as many circles every time, and I'm doing a radius pin less. One more. Yes. How many circles have we done? I'm going to do 40 this time, and only a diameter of 10. And let's see, we need a turtle. Let's do, does it know lime green? Yes, it does know lime green. Let's do a whole bunch of, I did so many circles that were so small, it pretty much filled it all in. No, I don't want to draw another. Well, there you go. So that's cool. It's all based on what the user inputs. The user input is really helpful if we want to do something there, because whatever you draw could be totally different what I draw, because you may choose different size circles, different number circles, different colors. But that was pretty cool. That's a pretty neat little program right there, using a while loop inside of a while loop. So that is pretty cool. You could probably make this a for loop inside of a while loop as well, because you do know up here how many circles you're going to draw. So, but the while loop is really cool because it'll allows it to be different number. I could have just drawn one group of circles and quit. All right, so look at our last slide here. Import turtle. Joe's our turtle. Joe moved to speed of 10. Joe shaped turtle. Now look, we put a comment here, hashtag options. We could make him a turtle shape, an arrow shape, a circle shape, a square, a triangle, or the classic little icon. Pick your pin up, move over to position 030. I don't think he ever puts his pin down. I think they're missing something. Okay, set position 030. We'll see if this works. Answer equals yes, and while the answer is yes, at a size of 1, we asked input, please enter a color. So we'll enter a color and enter a shape, turtle, arrow, circle, square, triangle, classic. And then we have a for loop inside the while loop. It's going to run 15 times. And he's going to stamp whatever shape we're using. If it's a turtle shape, it's an arrow shape, it's a circle shape. And then get bigger by 2. Move forward that bigger by 2. And then turn left 30 degrees and ask, do we want to keep doing this? So let's see what this looks like. Enter a color. Blue. Blue turtle. Okay. Do I want to continue? Yes. Enter a color. Red and square. Interesting. Yes. Enter a color. Green.
Can it do hearts? Try to do a heart.
No, all we have is these 6 choices. There are limits.
No, I didn't see that. I'm actually,
yeah.
I need my glasses, guys.
That's okay. That's okay. We have turtle, arrow, circle, square, triangle, or classic. Let's do triangle. And one more. We'll do purple. And let's do arrow. Kind of going off our screen. And then we'll say no more. So we did turtle shape, we did square shape, we did triangle shape, and then we did arrow. Arrow's it's a triangle, but it's more of a pointing arrow. And it just kept looping around 15 times. It would stamp itself 15 times, moving left 30 degrees each time. We'd go forward, side. They got a little bigger each time. Size +2. Size would start out at 1, and then it would make it a little bigger than that. Just something different. Counts from 0 to 14, so he makes 15 shapes. There you go. Well, if you guys want to come to page 4 and play with this, you have this available. Give you some ideas for graphics program. If you hadn't written last week's program, here's some more good ideas for you to play with. Don't turn in this. You need to do your own. But you can modify. You can use this as a starting point. And that is the end of that. Let's see what our assignment looks like. Start. What's the purpose of a while loop? What's the proper syntax for a while loop? Read the code. There's an error with this while loop. How do we fix it? As soon as the while loop condition becomes blank, the loop will blank. 2 blanks. Read this code. What output would be produced for a given values of n? What would this look like? So, all right, 5 questions. 5 questions. Having fun with loops. While loops. Fun stuff. All right, guys. We do have class Wednesday and Friday for A-Day. So if you need help with the program or need help with this or just want to talk about this, come check it out. So we will see you guys later. Have a great week. Next week, let me mention this before I forget. Next week, I am not going to be here, so I will have a video for you to watch. It'll be very important. Lots of good information next week. I will be here on Wednesday if you're confused about video on Monday.